never gonna get my love.
All right, everyone, welcome to the Third Touch Soccer Podcast. My name is Sam Leamy. I'm here with, I'll go with you, Mike, and Connor Walsh.
Yeah?
What's going on?
What's up, dude?
What's up, lads?
We had a rough sound check before the recording started.
Oh, yeah, it's spot on right now. We're good to go,
Sam,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Start it up, Sam. Let's go.
Why are you shouting at me? You're always, mad at me for
He
some
said I was
reason.
low. He said my volume was low.
Yeah, but we got it on point now. I can just mix it in.
It's all good? All right.
Oh, you're
bad.
a producer, dude? You produce for the podcast? That's sick, dude.
Oh, you're a bartender? Sick, dude.
Yeah, sick, dude. Sick. Real nice.
All right, everyone, welcome to the Third Touch Soccer Podcast. We're hating each other today for some reason. But yeah, we got a big show for you. We have a few days late, but, we're going to have the reaction from the USA-Panama game, all the World Cup qualifying games.
I got my reaction. Oh, it sucked.
Well, we'll get to that shortly, but there's been some other things in the news this week. Bastian Schweinsteiger came over to the MLS, signed for the Chicago Fire. Did you hear about this, Mike?
Yeah, we talked about it last pod. We were all like, yeah, who gives a crap? Whatever. But
Oh, you don't care about Bastian?
no, I do care. I read an article on him, and I'm kind of into it now.
Why are you into it?
I'm not.
Oh, I read about Mourinho apologized about how he treated him.
Yeah. He would like to turn back time and treat Sir Schweinsteiger better than he did in the summer. That's what I heard.
right.
I just got finished watching this Man United West Brom game. Another lackluster 11th draw of the season at Old Trafford against a mid-table Premier League team.
Two good results for West Brom, though, back-to-back. Arsenal, 3 points, and then drawn away at United. Not bad.
Yeah, it was. I fear for the likes of like Rashford, Lingard, up front for United. It looked exciting. And Martial, Ibra's still suspended, but I fear for Marcus Rashford just having that Yanazai effect or the, what, Mike?
There's certain teams I don't like just as an American, just by the name of the team. I'm not into it.
Well,
It's almost boring. West Bromovich is like, it's like boring.
West
I just didn't want to
Bromovich?
get in. Yeah, was that's the name?
Oh, no.
Oh, we're finished.
What's the name of the team?
You're like this reporter for in Chicago. He was in a press conference bashing Schweinsteiger.
It's a boring ass name. Crystal Palace. Was that a casino? I don't want to go there either. You have to have. Here's the thing: English teams. If you want to get successful, you have to have a classic sounding name. Chelsea, Manchester United, Manchester City, Arsenal. These sound. Leicester City sounds classic. Not fucking. I know there's people that live there, but like.
Yeah, that West Bromovich team is what a shitty name they are.
The team's name, I don't care.
So Mike McLaughlin was in Chicago this past week asking questions to Bastian Schweinsteiger. Did you hear this, Mike? I'm gonna play the clip in a second, but
all our listeners are agreeing with me. By the way, they're like, yeah. When I flip on, and I see Bournemouth or whatever versus
Southampton.
Sutherland. Southampton, that has a nice name. It has a nice ring to it. I can see them being a classic team. It's actually the sound of the name.
Because it's geographical? Like, what, you like geography?
No. It's just the sound. Oh, just the sound of the name.
Mike hates the Midlands. If you're a Midland club, Mike hates you.
What about Aston Villa?
I think Aston Villa has a nice little sound to it. It kind of rolls. Aston Villa, kind of like an Aston Martin. It's got that kind of like
classy
feel to it. Yeah, it's classic. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. We should do is name more teams, and I'll tell you if they should be in the Premier League or they should be in the League 2.
All right, Sunderland.
Sutherland should just be fighting for they're good enough to be one of the crap teams. Like, should be fighting for relegation.
Middlesbrough.
No, you got to go like that's like a team in in a J.R.L. Tolkien novel. I don't want to. I don't.
Hull City. Hull.
Oh, no way. No, Hull City. No, it's
just
not,
boring.
Not.
No, 4-letter word.
And the color is orange. No, they're boring.
Yeah, but they're nicknamed the Tigers. They were going to change their name from Hull City to Hull Tigers, right? A couple of years ago.
Yeah, the chairman's a squid.
Yeah, here's a squid.
Tigers.
All
right.
But yeah, Mike McLaughlin was in Chicago this week. Did you hear about this? Didn't you ask Bastian Schweinsteiger a question to see if Chicago Fire could win the World Cup?
I just heard about this, but I would not have. This is beyond dumb. But I want to hear.
Well, I'm gonna play the clip now for the listeners if no one heard it. Apparently, this reporter from Chicago, his name, I'm gonna totally expose this guy.
Expose this man.
Expose him.
Expose him.
What's his name again? Derek Henkel. He is a AFP video journalist for Chicago, and this really frustrates me. Like, we applied for media passes down in Orlando, and for this squid to ask, a question to a World Cup winner, one of the biggest names in the world of soccer, and this is what he asked him.
Developing a good fire club, both for you first and then for the coach. I wonder, with your addition to this team, is it a fair expectation to see a clear pathway towards a World Cup competition come out of Chicago?
So now there's a pause right now. Bastian Schweinsteiger's looking at his representatives right now.
He's referring to the World Club Cup. Like, he's referring to
He's very perplexed.
I'm so angry.
Do you expect now that you're here, Bastian, that World Cup goal for Chicago Fire is a realistic expectation?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Well, not the World Cup. We as a club don't play for the World Cup, but we'll adjust it to MLS Cup. Yes. Do you think MLS Cup is a realistic expectation? I think
Fair play to Bastian Schweinsteiger.
That made me feel sad right there.
What? What do you mean?
It's just like U.S. soccer will take like it takes a few steps forward.
How energetic that guy was in the question. Like, I'm going to do a great job. It's just like, oh,
he
God.
rephrased it too.
My question was too complicated for their German ears. And then he's like, the World Cup, is the Fire going to be there? I'm a great journalist.
He clarified how much of an idiot he is. He went out of his way to re-clarify
how old is the guy?
Derek Henkel? I have no idea. And he did apologize. I know we attached the link on our Twitter account, and he gave his reasoning behind it. He apologized to everyone. But not only did he ask the original question in a weird direction, he went back to rephrase the question and ask, if Chicago could win the World Cup. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely, kind of embarrassing. I don't know how much this went across the world, but certainly across a lot of news fronts in America. But one of my points was maybe a publicity stunt for Bastian Schweiger coming over here and generating that interest. What do you think, Carl?
Well, that's pretty cynical.
Wait, you think that this press conference situation was a publicity stunt?
Maybe. I mean, it was reported on ESPN.
This guy was just an idiot. He was just an idiot, bro. He was just an idiot that asked a terrible question and will be an idiot today too. He sucks. No, it's terrible. It's embarrassing. Like, for the league that is trying to establish themselves as a legitimate soccer league, to have journalists showing up to a major press conference and asking that level of questions, it says a lot about the journalist, and it just doesn't look good for the league. And I'm sure Schweinsteiger just, was laughing to himself the whole time. Like, what have I gotten myself into? What is this? Yeah. Where am I right now?
At the first, when he first asked those, I thought maybe he was trying to say that I was giving him my benefit of the doubt. Like, maybe he's saying that with your international presence in Germany, that this would help the United States get a World Cup, and therefore there would be a World Cup game in Chicago, and this is could be help, putting more of it. I mean, it's a dumb question if that was true anyway, because it's just ridiculous. But that's what I thought. And then he rephrased and was just like, "Nah, can the Chicago Fire, a professional team, play in that international competition?"
Yeah, and I think one of the representatives was like, I think he's referring to the World Club Cup, which they can actually qualify for through the CONCACAF Champions League, but that route is kind of...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean...
The World Cup Champions League, you mean?
There you go, Mike.
What?
I'm
like, no, it's the World Champions League is what it's called.
The World Club Cup. It's what Barcelona win every year, the European...
August, nobody give two shits, yeah.
Yeah, it's like played in the Middle East. It's sometimes played in Japan. But anyway, Chicago Fire are never going to get there. But other things in the news as well. Did you see the Ronaldo statue that was unveiled at Madeira Airport in Portugal?
Yeah, I've never seen a worse effort in my life. What was more of a worse effort? The sculptor that made the statue or the journalist at the press conference? Because
Hold on, I don't know which one is, but Sam, real quick, Claire, I bet you we have listeners that don't even understand why that was such a dumb question to ask Sebastian Schweinsteiger.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, Chicago Fire do not compete in the World Cup. There are...
They're what?
What?
Because they're what?
Because they're a domestic...
not a country.
Yeah, they're not a country.
Yeah, professional team.
Yeah, exactly.
all.
So there you go, listeners.
Chirac, though. Chirac's its own country.
Gibraltar can win the World Cup. There you go.
Yeah, you're sucking your chin, buddy.
Your chin can win the World Cup as well. Ronaldo's statue was unveiled at the Madeira Airport in Portugal this past week as well. And obviously we're a podcast and we can't show you the visual statue, but if you want to Google it, it was all over ESPN. It was absolutely laughable. Ronaldo put on a brave face. You know, having a airport terminal named after you is an honor, but as soon as that bronze golden statue, whatever it was, and you see that figurine. I mean, he's definitely a self-absorbed human being, but he's a very generous human being at the same time. But you see that statue, the eyes are too close, the mouth is shifted up. You looking at it right now, Mike?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I haven't seen it. You mean it's just like a statue of his head?
Yeah, it wasn't a full body. It was just the head. But it was a statue that did... First take reaction.
Man, yo, it looks like he's taking a header, like mid-header, you know, and like they freeze frame. He's just like, oh wow.
His face is so small though. Like his actual head is massive, but like his features are so tiny. It's weird.
But as an artist as well, you've sculptured the head, and now you're about to unveil it to one of the most popular sports people in the whole world. Isn't there any second or third opinion on this? Isn't there someone like, hang on a minute, doesn't look anything like him? Come on, absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, a good week.
It's like his goofy brother who didn't make it in soccer or something like that.
Well, they say it looked like Niall Quinn, which was an ex-Ireland international in the 90s. Chairman of Sunderland. I don't know if he's still the chairman of Sunderland.
I'm looking at some of these fucking tweets and shit. Look at that one's great.
What was it? Oh, yeah, that's great when he rips his shirt off. Yeah, it's great.
Yo, dude, it does kind of look like Niall Quinn.
Yeah. But anyway, he put on a brave face as well.
The dumbest looking head on, like, right? Like he looks like, oh my god, I can't look at that.
All right, but onto some USA action this week. After the 6-0 thumping of Honduras, they go straight into Panama City and churn out a 1-1 draw on Tuesday evening. I know we're a few days late. We've had a lot of things to absorb. We've analyzed a lot of performances this past week from the team. 4 points out of these 2 games. Are you guys happy with that? Or is this a disappointment?
I'm not disappointed. I think it was a little bit anticlimactic, especially after how well they played in the game against Honduras and scoring 6 goals, and just the way they scored those 6 goals. Would have been nice to see them carry on with that momentum and get another 3 points in Panama. But I think, as soon as the lineup came out, I kind of got the feeling it wasn't going to be that kind of game, and it was going to be more of a classic national team game where you're just grinding out a result, hopefully.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, buddy. Thank you. But, no, I think plus another thing was the squad was just so injured that in reality 4 points was probably, completely fine. Injuries going into camp with no Yedlin and then no Woods, and then injuries after the first game. Sebastian Lletget left, Jordan Morris left, a few other names left, Michael Orozco. So I think because of that, the reality is it's a kind of a weakened team, and to go get 4 points is, it's fine. It's not the sexiest thing to have happened, but in all reality, we're back up to 4th place. If it ended today, we're playing for a World Cup qualifying game, so it's not the end of the world. And yeah, I think 4 points is fine, and the ship has been righted a little bit. Shout out to Bruce.
Yeah, I mean, after the first 2 games in November, losing at home to Mexico and that thumping by Costa Rica, this Bruce Arena era right now, obviously getting those 3 points against Honduras were vital. That was more of a must-win game. The 1-1 draw in Panama, considering a lot of players missing in this one. But after that 6-0 win, going away to Panama, who just lost against Trinidad and Tobago, it was, not expected to win, but USA don't go to Panama and win consistently. It's always a grind out there, and especially on that field that we saw in Panama City, 85 degrees heat.
No, dude, I'm sorry. FIFA, what the fuck? Your product, right? This is my problem. Your product is soccer, right? That's your product, FIFA. Why are you allowing your product to look like that? I don't get this. I don't care. Oh, it's Panama does on these countries. They do it on purpose. They're playing on literally concrete with U.S. Open rough on top of it. So the ball is like bouncing all over the place, and then how many times you have the ball going up 30 feet in the air because it's such hard ground, but it's also such all over the place. It's just not fun to watch. And if you're like a new person trying to get into soccer, which I'm not, but I'm sitting here with people that are like, yo, this is so boring compared to the game we watched the other day. It's not soccer. I don't. If you're FIFA, there's got to be a way. You got like, listen, we're gonna have a little test thing. We roll the ball out and see how long it rolls and how many bumps it makes. We got a little computer that measures it with like a laser, like they do in golf tournaments. This screen's, it's an 11. This one's ready for the U.S. Open, and everything needs to be within a certain parameter. And your product is soccer. That's not soccer. That sucked. Like, it just sucked to watch. I'll put all the Jermaine Jones, Michael Bradley played like shit together, whatever. But as a product, as I was watching it, I get it that we're used to it. Oh, CONCACAF, when you go down to Honduras or, Panama, it's all going to be shitty. The field's going to be shitty and the fans will be throwing like piss at you or whatever. But why? They know they've done that. But then when you go to Mexico, guess what? Field is pristine, right? Because Mexico's confident they can beat you. On a real field. I don't know. What do you guys think that that's ever a possibility in the world soccer?
Yeah, but Mike, this is nothing new in CONCACAF. It's been like this for decades now. It's not. But I agree with you. I agree that there are FIFA representatives there. They see the field. It's not unplayable. I mean, you could argue the fact that 4 years ago, USA played in Colorado in that snowstorm against Costa Rica. Was that playable? Was that fair?
That should not have happened.
Okay.
Yes, it should have. 3 points.
It's a bumpy field. As good as... as tough as the conditions were, the players should adapt to this. And the only player that had to adapt more than others was probably Christian Pulisic, because he's an 18-year-old kid, and this is more of like welcome to CONCACAF for him. Dempsey's played on these fields. He's played on these bumpy fields. A lot of these players...
I'm not talking about that. Yes, you're right. I'm saying you're right. But what I'm saying is that as a product, right?
Yes.
Soccer's the product. It's just not good.
No, the quality of the game was awful.
Well,
you knew after 5 minutes the quality of the game was going to be bad for 90 minutes. It wasn't a high quality, high possession game. The quality wasn't there. And we can all agree with that. And the quality really is never there in those types of games, in CONCACAF, in 85 degrees heat, in the humidity, in that kind of environment.
I'm sorry.
Well, I think the real final product that FIFA cares about is the World Cup, which is, the ultimate goal of these qualifying games that, certain countries have certain resources, that are available to them. And if they simply can't afford to have a top quality field, they can't afford it. And I'm not saying
I don't think that's true, man. They're lighting fireworks off. It's not. That's what I used to think too. Like, oh, they don't know how to cut the grass right, like we do. And bullshit. Whatever. They're doing it because it gives them an advantage, which I totally understand. It's in the rules. But why is this? I'm saying this as you're going to watch it, you're going to develop more fans of soccer, which then develops more fans of the World Cup. I'm throwing this out there. I would just like someone to take this and go, hey, maybe that'd be a decent idea. Because when you go down, if you were to go down to play, Brazil versus Uruguay, the fields are pristine.
Nah, that's not true, man. I was watching one of Argentina's game from this past international break. I forgot who they were playing against. It may have been the game against Chile. Bolivia. No, that wasn't the Bolivia game. It was the game against Chile. And the field was absolutely terrible. Like, it was embarrassing that, you've got like Lionel Messi going out there to play his international breaks on this piece of crap field. I think that's just, kind of more or less the reality with less developed nations, I guess, where you might encounter bad fields.
I mean, excuses aside, both teams are playing on the same field. There's a lot of Panama players that don't play in Panama. They play in the MLS, they play in Europe. So they both have to combat these conditions. Obviously, it favors the Panamanians more than the USA guys. It obviously does. And you see teams in the Premier League, they soak their field at half-time, slicker passing, if they want to play like a type of game, to gain any kind of advantage, home advantage, they'll do that. You saw every pass was bobbling all over the place, and it was hard to get stuff going, so there was no, 20-yard passes along the ground. There just wasn't that. There was either long balls or short passes, Bradley coming forward. But, excuses aside, overall, 1-1, Panama, it wasn't a disaster. They could have easily lost the game. But we'll start from the beginning. The starting lineup, Jeff Cameron was injured. I know he was on the bench, so I don't know if he was completely injured. But we'll start with the USA lineup. The back four looked weak straight from the start. I know Connor and I spoke when that lineup was announced, and we were like, ooh, Tim Ream, Zuzi right back, Omar Gonzalez and Villafania back four, and then the two defensive midfielders in Bradley and Jones. How do you think that worked overall, or the first half? How do you think USA tried to set up from the off, Connor?
Well, I think, this isn't just the first half. I think throughout the game and throughout however many the last few years, I think it's pretty clear that the Jermaine Jones, Michael Bradley midfield just really doesn't work for us. Too slow, lack of creativity. Which one of those two guys is going to go forward and create a goal or score? And yes, Bradley scored a great goal against Honduras, but he has done that so few times in his career, and that's fine. That's not really what he's playing to be doing. But that midfield just doesn't work. It didn't work under Klinsmann. It's not going to work under Arena. And something that I just find interesting with the U.S. team is, when are these older players finally going to be eased out? When is Wondolowski going to be eased out the team? When is Jermaine Jones? And I know that, Jermaine Jones just signed a big new DP contract for the Galaxy, so obviously there's still value for him. But, because I thought, under Klinsmann, these dudes, they're still here, they're still getting called up. And now, new era, new regime, still getting called up. I just don't know when is the line going to be drawn for Jones, Wondolowski. Beasley's back in the picture, but he really shouldn't be in all reality. The dude is so old. What do you guys think?
He's only the same age as I think he's the same age as Dempsey.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's 7-8 months older than Dempsey.
But Dempsey's the best USA player of all time, so.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, Donovan, I still say, but no, but I hear what you're saying, Connor. I think, Jones, it's time to be a, late sub when we're trying to hold a lead, enforcer kind of guy. I there was no connection between Bradley, Jones, and then the midfield. And it made me wonder, why did they just, it makes you wonder, even in these tough competitions, why not just go to one striker and put Pulisic in the middle? Or keep two strikers. You got to have Pulisic beyond the ball and, turning.
I think that for the national team, Pulisic needs to be in the number 10 role. And with this 4-4-2 lineup, there isn't a number 10 role, and he was thrown out on the wing. And did he get an assist? Yes. And he was definitely, I thought he was targeted by the Panamanian players. He was getting fouled a lot. I think he was the most fouled player on the field. So, because of that, you realize that, it might not be his best game, but he needs to be on the ball. You saw what he did against Honduras. He's pulling the strings. He's creating chances, just making smart runs, smart plays. And, maybe this is just a learning experience for Bruce Arena, trying out a different formation, different lineup. Hopefully you saw that it didn't really work, and I think everyone can agree that right now Christian Pulisic needs to be our number 10 in the center of the field on the ball as much as possible. And it's just, I don't even know what I'm talking about.
And I also think too,
I'm trying to jump in here for the last like 5 minutes, but it's fine. You guys go.
All right. I was going to get into more of the injuries. Like, this lineup is not even going to be the lineup in a month from now. So, the amount of players coming back. But Sam, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I just want to break down like the Jones-Bradley performance. Like, I mean, I don't want to go into too much depth into it, but it seemed like a safe lineup for Bruce Arena and the USA. But as soon, I mean, Zuzi struggled on that right-hand side, and Bradley kept on dropping constantly, receiving the ball off the two centre-backs. And in the second half, they were kind of telling him to go forward. But I really didn't see Jones in the picture, like, dropping back. So he was either told to hold it tight in the midfield with Bradley or play in that number 10, I feel like, and help Josie Altidore and Clint Dempsey. But it seemed like he didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to follow the instructions. So he was kind of invisible, I thought. I really didn't see him that too many times on the ball. But you're right, with this lineup, there was... a ton of people out. There was, John Brooks, Jeff Cameron, Yedlin, Fabian Johnson, and Bobby Wood all out. That's,
By the way, you just named our back four.
Yeah.
Fabian, they're going to play in the midfield now, but that would be probably our best back four you just named. So we really went without our B team back four.
Yeah, I mean, the first goal, I mean, they targeted Pulisic from the off. That's a game plan, and that's smart of the Panamanians. Like, even the ball boy in the first, 2 minutes, threw the ball at Pulisic's, head, I think, or, wouldn't give it him back. They were kind of winding him up, and this was, a welcome to Central America for Christian Pulisic. And this was the expectation on an 18-year-old in these types of games. He's going to learn from this. He's going to learn from that game, and this is vital experience for the young lad.
That's what I wanted to say. Is just, if anything, this was a great learning experience for Pulisic, playing away on a bad pitch. I mean, he's done it before. He's played in World Cup qualifiers before, but still, it's just what a good opportunity to get out and experience something different than the Bundesliga or just the comfort of playing at home in the United States for home matches. I think there's a lot that a young lad can learn from these kind of games, and it goes to show what the Panamanians think about him if they're targeting an 18-year-old to foul him, and it's something that he's gonna have to get used to throughout his career probably. With his projected career track, he's gonna be one of the best players in the world, and definitely definitely the best United States player. So he's gonna get hacked, he's gonna get fouled, and if he can handle it now, he can it'll be good going on the road.
Yeah, I think too you can make the argument that the game against Panama was more impressive than the game against Honduras for him, specifically with how hard he worked and how he did make adjustments to the field, and then that goal he did set up was probably the most. I mean, that'll be part of his highlight package forever. Whenever you're clicking on, in 3-4 years, clicking on a Pulisic highlight package, him throwing off two big guys, making the move, and I mean that's going to be on there. It was a really impressive performance.
Yeah, I mean, these two results take USA up to 4th in the table, which is where they want to be. Well, not the ideal position, but they've got themselves back into a position where they can qualify, obviously, the playoff position. Couple of qualifiers coming up, Trinidad at home and Mexico away. Expected to win that game at Trinidad at home. But all these games are getting really tight now. You're not seeing, big victories in this stage of qualifying like you used to, 4-8 years ago. It's a lot tighter than it used to be. But I think Pulisic's performance over these two games was very encouraging. In terms of the fact he hasn't had this, 2 full 90 minutes in 4 days before. He's kind of been an impact player. With the players out and players that are coming back, it is very encouraging, I feel like. So, I mean, 4 points, is this overall a successful...
Yeah, it's good. I mean, we're in the World Cup. It's fine. It's good. I am kind of excited to see what Pulisic does down at Azteca in June. That'll be fun. I think we should maybe do a on-site pod or something, or maybe pregame. Maybe we go to the bar and I'll come up and we'll all have a little podcast before the game and then after.
Well, they normally play that qualifier in the middle of the day, right? Altitude, middle of the day. Normally... No?
I don't know. I know it's to be determined right now.
All right.
But
go for it.
Yeah, are we wrapping the game up?
No, I mean we can still talk about it. There's a lot more. There's
no,
a
I
lot
was
more,
just, yeah, I think overall.
there's a lot more points
No, I
to
was
hit.
just
I
gonna
mean,
say
go for it.
No, I mean, I'll wait to the end. That was my closing statement. I was gonna say.
Connor wants the final statement on the game.
Did you guys see some of Bruce Arena's like sarcastic comments this week to the media? He had some pretty hilarious stuff to say.
No, I haven't.
Well, they were just like they were asking him like, do you think that the players have more fun with him as coach or Klinsmann? He goes, we're bringing a clown in for lunch today to make balloons and stuff for the players. Just saying how he's more fun. Someone was like, why do you like Jorge Villafana at left back? And he goes, because he's a left back, which is one of the criteria I think you should have for selecting a left back. So he's kind of just being smart with the media, being sarcastic. I like to see that, man. And my dad actually called me this morning. He said there was a USA Today article about Bruce Arena and talking about how just much more relaxed the environment is for the players. And before under Klinsmann, it's like they were walking on eggshells, not knowing what's going on. But now, like, Bruce Arena was asked, like, do you care if your players have a drink? And he goes, we're out in Panama right now in Central America. It's beautiful. If my players want to go have a drink, I don't care. Like, what am I going to do to stop them?
Yeah.
So I kind of like that approach from him, and I think it's just a much more enjoyable, relaxing environment to be in than under, the previous manager.
I'm one of the players that I feel for, I think, from the last two games. He didn't get a goal, and he seemed very isolated up front against Panama especially, was Josie Altidore. And now, with the players that are out, the challenge is there for him. Previously it was, a Hercules Gomez. I think there was a run when Klinsmann was in charge. He dropped Altidore because of a poor run of form, and he brought in like Wondolowski and Hercules Gomez. But now he can bring in, he can play Dempsey up there. He can play Bobby Wood up there. He can play, there's competition. I mean, is Bobby Wood better than Altidore right now? Do you fear for Altidore's international career?
I think Altidore played great in the Honduras game. His hold up and sort of like passing, setting up guys on runs and things.
Breaking news,
really
by
well.
the way. Arsene Wenger's been offered the PSG job next season.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. Let him ruin that club. Get him out. Oh, this is the best day of my life. I can't wait till he re-signs a 2-year contract, though.
Yeah, right. But yeah, do you think there's a Josie Altidore's thinking about his international future now? I mean, he was very isolated he was lost on Tuesday night. He really...
So why he's questioning his whole international future off of 2 games of not scoring?
Why not?
He played great against Honduras.
Honduras. He's one of the most important players, and anyone saw that. Everyone saw that.
But he's not that automatic. Do you think he's that automatic starter?
No, I don't think he's automatic. I think Bobby Wood is challenging right there. I think they're two different players. I actually think probably Jordan Morris might end up being some. They really never let them play. I don't really know.
Josie's automatic starter every time.
Until when?
Dude, he's 26. Until he's probably 32 years old, he's the automatic starter. For now, time being, no one's scoring more goals than him. For club or country overall, he's the man. Like there's no one else.
But he's not scoring. He's not scoring for his country. He didn't score.
He's gonna be. But you gotta remember, he's gonna be.
We're talking about 2 games. In one of the games, he played great.
He's gonna be so motivated. Yeah, he's gonna be so motivated by the time World Cup comes around. Because remember last World Cup, how ready he was to go, and then on his first run, he pulled his hamstring. So,
he was too excited.
He was super excited, but I think I hear what you're saying. Until another striker really, I mean, Bobby Wood looks like he's playing really well for Hamburg now, and and Bobby Wood is. I think he actually would have been more beneficial in the Panama game. Making little diagonal runs. He's got a little more speed than Altidore. It might have been, but I think Josie is the starter, and then if it's not working out, you bring in a Bobby Wood in the 65th minute, take Josie off, something like that maybe.
Yeah, I mean, Pulisic's watch, we did see him get fouled a bunch of times. He did get those free kicks. They obviously targeted him. His overall performance in the Panama game with the assist, was this the best impact that he could have put in a way to Panama?
Yeah, I don't think it was really hard to judge. You know who else had a really good performance too, I think, and I hope he stays as a full-time starter, is Nagbe. I think Nagbe's just... Why can't he play in the midfield? I know he plays on the wing, at Portland, but couldn't he do the Jones role?
Yeah, he could do a
And be a
box to
little bit
box, but
forward?
I feel like he
Yeah.
dilly-dallied on the ball a lot, and he was holding on to the ball, and I think that's Nagby's issue. He wants to make things happen, and once he kind of holds onto the ball too much, and he got crowded out, and with the quality of the pitch, he lost the ball numerous times, I feel like, and he wasn't as creative as he was against Honduras.
Gotta look at the stats. Gotta look at the stats, Sam.
I,
He had good stat. He got a 7 rating. I'm telling you, he did it. I think the guy. I think the guy is an automatic starter right now. But I don't know, Connor. What do you think?
Yeah, Nagby's definitely an automatic starter. Whether it's the playing on the left or right or through the midfield, I think we'll probably see him through the midfield a little bit more going on. But I've said it before. We got to remember when he's playing on the wing, he's not really playing as a winger. He's playing more as like an auxiliary midfielder.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I think Nagby's been, since he's been brought into the team, one of the best players, and you have to keep him in the lineup. I think he's almost dead set starter in the lineup from here on out. I think that he's earned it, and
Even when Fabian Johnson comes back,
that's gonna be the thing. Honestly, that's the one thing.
I want them both in the lineup. So I think put them on both wings is something. Bruce will figure it out.
Well, that's the
Well,
only
if we're gonna
thing.
play
That's the only thing. If you put Nagby in the middle, because I don't know if he's not going to play Bradley and Jones ever again. I don't know if he's not going to do that. This could be the beginning of the end for Jermaine Jones. I feel like.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, I think, yeah, definitely. I mean, it has to be. It's just not working. Those two in the midfield together don't work. And Bradley, I think, has to start over Jones. So I think that Jones' time as a starter should come to an end, and I would like to see Nagby playing that position. If we're playing a 4-4-2, why not Michael Bradley and Nagby?
Do you think
Why
Jermaine
not?
Jones can
If you have to do it, yeah.
can be like an impact player? You think he can come on?
No.
Like
I mean, he
Doug?
can play 15 minutes, 20 minutes if we need extra legs in the midfield, but impact player, like what impact does he have?
Well, if
Not
I tell you,
scoring.
Connor, if we're holding a 2-1 lead versus some big club, and
Oh,
it's
then
50 minutes to
absolutely.
go,
Then
have him
absolutely.
come be an enforcer and just,
Yeah, absolutely. I'm completely fine with that. But I just think him starting, especially next to Michael Bradley, has just been proven, not just this last game, but throughout the course of their time.
I say yeah, and if I really like that formation, you go 4, Bradley sitting in front of the back 4, and then you could have Pulisic in front of him, and then Johnson on one side, Nagby on the other side, because they'll all kind of I might and then with Dempsey and Altidore, and it doesn't even matter, I guess, up top, Altidore and Wood or Wood and Dempsey,
One thing I do want to say though, I think that we saw 2 different lineups, 2 different formations, and 2 different approaches between the game Friday night and the game Tuesday night. I think that's pretty much how Bruce is. I think you saw what he's going to do tactically. If he wants to go at a team, he'll play a team like we played Friday night with that kind of lineup. And if he wants to be more conservative, like a CONCACAF Road World Cup qualifier is a perfect example, I think he'll play the 4-4-2 and just be a little bit safer, a little bit more cautious.
And just to clarify one thing too, I was just talking about, we're talking about Fabian Johnson on like different player ratings, world ratings, websites. He's still our top rated player. He's above Pulisic still, like on the world. That's how good he is. And we've been keeping him at left back, kind of hidden. He's been great form for Borussia Mönchengladbach. Yeah, thank you. And West Bromovich, and he's. So I'm saying once we get him and we actually get him in the midfield, I mean, the team looks pretty. I mean, it looks pretty good if you have.
Yeah, I mean,
Nagby,
you've got
Pulisic, him in the midfield.
you've got 4 points from, would you say, not a B team, but only half of your starters.
plus.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's a good point. It definitely wasn't. I wouldn't say they're probably like a B+ team because we're missing like 3 starters that would make it, our A team. And that some of those players like Nagby and Johnson coming back can literally change the team. Like they're
remember, and we could put Yedlin on the right, Cameron and Brooks in the middle, and then Villafana on the left. I think did
that
a
is
fine
what
job.
I think our back 4 is. That
We're
is
looking
a
at we got a
crazy
squad,
back
kid.
4. Crazy nice back 4 right there.
And also, I mean, you could have easily lost this game if it wasn't for Tim Howard. He made a great save in that second half. When one of the Panamanians got through and he kind of threw himself at the ball, and that took all of his CONCACAF experience to just spread himself, stop that ball and then jump on that ball. So got to give credit to Tim Howard, because they could have easily come out of Panama with 0 points, and that would have opened the gap up. So Mexico is sitting pretty on top with 10 points, Costa Rica with 7 points, Panama 5 points, USA, Honduras both on 4 points, but obviously USA with that superior goal difference. But yeah, like you said, Mike, I mean, they've pretty much qualified. They need to secure that 3rd place, I feel like, instead of going to that playoff, that 5th place.
I think the goal is to still finish top of the group if you could, at least 2nd in the group. So you go for it. I mean, I think with this team, like I was just saying, I'm looking at that team. We're just, if you have, if injuries, if they're not there, if we're fully healthy, I think we can go down to Mexico, get a point, or dare I say 3 points. Has that even ever happened before? Have we ever gone down to Mexico in a World Cup qualifier and got 3 points?
I think one time, and someone somewhat random scored the winning goal, like Charlie Davies or someone that's like not in the picture anymore. They scored like the winning goal. That was like, yeah, we won like.
I don't know, man. I think we might have just gotten a draw. I don't know if we've ever actually won a game in a World Cup qualifier. Connor, get on that.
Yes, look at him typing away. But whilst he's researching that, let's hop over to Europe, and let's talk about the Dutch team right now, who are struggling to qualify for the 2018 World Cup. They didn't qualify for the 2016 Euros, which was probably one of the easiest competitions to qualify for. They just lost to Bulgaria 2-0. This is, if they miss this World Cup, it's the first back-to-back competitions they haven't made, I think, since the early 80s. So Holland in a World Cup, you're obviously used to it. In 2010, they made the final. Daley Blind's father, Danny Blind, just got fired from the head coach position. But a World Cup without Holland, is this weird for you, Mike? Do you want to see the bright orange in Russia? Do you care about it?
I always love them. I know I do, but you try to think who their best players are right now. Kind of seems like Belgium has overtaken them as that hot team with all the young bright stars. Netherlands are always, Schneider, Arjen Robben, the whole, that it was always like an exciting team to watch. But they're all aged now, and I'm not an expert on the Netherlands team, but it doesn't seem like they're producing as many players as some other nations right now.
Yeah, I mean, their best players.
Yeah, and that's the one thing.
Players. Yeah, go on, Connor.
Well, that's the one thing that throughout Belgium's history they've not relied on, but not Belgium. I meant the Netherlands. Yeah. I'm sorry. That's the one thing that they have been so good at, and the reason they've been so relevant is just being an absolute factory of talent. So it's trickled over to the national team. But like you said, I think you're right, Mike. Belgium has seemed to not like that second tier country, because I don't want to say obviously Belgium isn't second tier as far as the people or whatever, but it's not one of the traditional powerhouses, and Belgium definitely slipped into that spot of just producing the hottest talent. But yeah, it doesn't look good in the Netherlands, and it continues to get worse. It's just bad losses at home against weak teams. Like you said, Sam, not qualifying for the Euros it's just not good enough for a country that is of that level of history, and I don't think they're producing the same level of players right now. I mean, there's top Dutch talent. Ajax always has players that are being looked at. Feyenoord, PSV, and whatnot, but it just doesn't seem like currently the same caliber of players are coming out. There's no world beaters coming out of the Netherlands right now, it seems, and maybe they have to do some restructuring, take a deep breath, take a look at themselves. But if they don't make the World Cup, it's gonna be a crazy story for sure after just this absolute downward spiral the past few seasons. And the thing is that even like the last World Cup, they weren't that good of a team, but they still made it to the semifinals or the quarterfinals or whatever. And it was good to see them. I remember the game they beat Spain. Was it 5-1, 5-0? It was the first game of the first game of that group.
Was the last World Cup where when Van Persie got that
Yeah.
opening goal, like on the
Header,
that,
the
that header, that jumping header?
Well,
Yeah,
I think Spain took the lead in that game through a penalty. I think they went 1-0 up, and then Van Persie just took over. Van Persie and Robin took over, and it was like, right now their best players are old players. It's Robin van Persie, it's I Am Robin, and it's Wesley Sneijder. And they do have some bright talent coming through. The Memphis Depay and Kevin Strootman. Kevin Strootman's like injured every freaking day.
He's broken his leg twice.
But the Ajax Academy is renowned to be like one of the best academies in the world. So yeah, there must be something going on there, and they're not producing the players that they used to. And it's not like they're in an easy group either. They're in a group with France, Sweden, Bulgaria, and it's only the top team that automatically qualifies for the World Cup, and then the second place goes into that playoff. And they're currently in fourth place with 5 games to go. They're halfway through qualifying, and they just lost to Bulgaria away, and I think they still got to play France and Sweden in those 5 games. It's looking tough.
Thank God for CONCACAF, right?
Yeah, good. Imagine putting USA in that European qualifying campaign. How do you think they would fare?
I think that we would qualify. We would qualify more years than not. I think
it would be
like
tough. Definitely
50-50?
way tougher.
Yeah, it'd be a 50-50 for every major tournament. I think we'd be like
Ireland,
like Wales or something maybe.
Wales never qualified for the World Cup.
They just did in the Euros, didn't they? I don't know. Yeah, I'm thinking what country would be
like a Greece?
Similar to?
Greece.
No, we're better than. I know Greece 104. I know whatever, but as talent-wise, I don't know. But this is one thing I say: you send England, you send the Netherlands, you send any of those countries down to Panama on one of those pitches, or Honduras on one of those pitches in the heat. I think most of them are getting in 30 minutes in. They're like, I don't even want to do this. I want to get on my plane. I want to go back to my awesome, club team and the great facilities. This sucks. I'm not out here trying to get my leg broken in this heat. This stinks. And I think all of them would not perform as well as a lot of these CONCACAF teams do in those.
Yeah, I would love to see some of the European countries in CONCACAF in the Hex just to see how they perform, because it's a completely different. It's a different animal, bro.
Yeah, but they're never gonna arrange friendlies. They're never gonna arrange friendlies in the.
It can't be a friendly. It's got to be a real
CONCACAF.
competition. It's got to be real competition.
But then, when do you think there's going to be a World Cup in Costa Rica or Panama? It's not going to happen.
When they fix their pitch problem, I'm really rooting for Panama and Honduras and Central America to get a World Cup. All you gotta do is fix the pitch. No, I'm serious.
So you bitch about these Central American countries when USA play away, but when it comes to the World Cup, do you want Panama to beat a Greece or an England, or do you support CONCACAF in the World Cup?
Oh yeah,
I support all CONCACAF teams.
Yeah, dude, I was rooting for Costa Rica so hard. I was rooting for Costa Rica so hard last World Cup.
I root for Costa Rica. I root for Mexico. Anytime.
Are you serious? But you hate them. You hate them in the qualifying campaign.
No, I don't hate them at all. They're like my boys.
You spent 15 minutes earlier in this podcast bitching about FIFA and how they can't fix the pitch in Panama.
I'm saying FIFA. No, it's not Panama's fault that this is allowed to happen. It's to their advantage. If the pitch was pristine, like it should be, USA would won that game probably 3-1. Could have gone out to Pulisic and would have dominated possession. Dempsey would have had how many times Dempsey go for a little one touch and the ball just like went someplace else and he's just like, all right, whatever. You know what I mean?
He gave up.
Altidore gave up. Everybody gives up because it's not soccer. I'm telling you, watch it. It's not soccer. They try to play a one touch, and it just, as they're going to do it, the ball like jumps away like on a green.
I agree.
Once again, though, slow football prevails. A point for the Panamanians.
It does.
If Panama World Cup, I root for them too.
All right. Well, we're pretty much halfway through all qualifying campaigns all over the world. Another team in trouble, Argentina, in South America. Messi was suspended for 4 games, 5.5 hours before their game against Bolivia. They go on and lose that game 2-0. They are currently 5th in that qualifying campaign. Panic button now for Argentina, Connor, do you think? Or do you think, their quality will shine through in the remaining games?
I think their quality will shine through once Messi comes back for them.
But this is 3 games to go. This is, 3 more games to go. I don't know how many more games in the qualifying. I think it's 6 games left in the qualifying campaign. But if they struggle in these next 3 games without Messi, and they obviously haven't dominated in the previous games in this qualifying campaigns with Messi, is this a World Cup without Holland and Argentina? It's unthinkable, right?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think is Argentina in really that bad a shape though. Like I know it could go bad, but I think they're gonna get the results.
Yeah, it's going pretty bad for them. It's going pretty bad. They're not. They just lost to Bolivia.
Yeah,
right?
Bring up the table, Connor, right now. But it seems unfair. It was meant to be for some verbal exchange of words against the assistant referee. Yeah. And it was, I guess, a really harsh ban, like 4 games, Don't know what was
crazy.
said. I don't, a lot of puta and, maybe...
Puta.
a lot of that. But for a straight red card, you're still only getting a 3-game ban. And for Messi, just for some words, is getting a 4-game ban. It seemed very harsh. It seemed a little bit bizarre, but... This was this imposed by the Federation or FIFA? Do we know?
It's FIFA ban.
Yeah, FIFA ban, 4-game ban, right?
Yeah, that's FIFA ban. And here's the thing: is Brazil's playing the best they've looked in probably 5
Brazil is
years.
currently the best national team in the world.
Yeah, them or Germany, right?
I think Brazil, man.
Argentina is they have the talent to be. I mean, they're one of the most talented teams in the world, like top 5. I think that Connor's right that their talent will come through and they'll be able to. Yeah, but they're just not a team. So I mean, what's it even matter? And every time you watch Argentina, they're just trying to get the ball to Messi. It's not.
I mean,
as
right now
in the World Cup.
Right now they're on 22 points in 5th place, which is the playoff spot for CONMEBOL. Is the 5th place team.
What about the 6th place team?
Ecuador on 20 points. And I watched the Ecuador-Colombia game this past week. Ecuador was at home at 12,000 feet, and Colombia smacked them. So I wouldn't be too worried about Ecuador. And Enter Valencia. This dude Enter Valencia is on loan from West Ham at Everton, man. And we're talking about Argentina not making it to the World Cup.
Maybe.
They're going to be just fine.
All right,
They'll be just fine.
But overall, I mean, they're still in 5th place, and Messi's out for the next 3 games. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. But it's good that the Premier League's back as well this weekend. Did anyone watch any games this morning? Liverpool early game smacked Everton 3-1. Lukaku I didn't watch the game; it was too early for me. But Liverpool always seem to turn up for these big games, and I read a report that like Lukaku and Paul actually texted me this morning, and he seems to be lost in these types of games. It's easy to score 4 goals against West Bromovich at home. But
What did I call them? That's what I said. I said West Bromovich.
You mixed Roman Abramovich and
I did?
West Bromwich Albion.
The Chelsea.
The Chelsea owner, yeah.
Oh, my bad. Well, whatever. It's early in the morning.
It's not that early. It's 1:30
I was
in the
out last
afternoon.
night. I don't know.
And the Asian lady put sugar in your coffee. Come on, get your shit together.
Can't believe that she put sugar in my coffee, but whatever.
All right. But
I did watch. I watched all the games, and I watched. Go on, yeah.
Really? You were up for the Liverpool game?
I watched the end of the Chelsea game. I watched the Dortmund Schalke game, and I watched
Derby.
But yeah, Lukaku was missing, but Liverpool always seem to turn up for these big games, and they're on a nice run of form right now to cement their place in the top 4. Surprise defeat Chelsea at home to Crystal Palace. Your boys from London, Connor, Sam Allardyce, and the lads. A vital 3 points away to Chelsea. A lot of flares going on at the end of the game. A couple of explosions.
Of course. God bless Palace.
That's what Connor wants to bring to this country. That's what he's going to make America great again with soccer hooliganism.
Hey.
But that was a vital 3 points, and there was a lot of 3 points picked up at the bottom. Leicester City again, Craig Shakespeare, 4 wins out of 4 in the Premier League for them, up to 13th place. 2 absolute world-class goals, I thought, from Ndidi and Jamie Vardy. Unbelievable strikes, I thought. I don't know which goal was better, that long-range shot from Ndidi or Jamie Vardy's around the defender, volley in the top corner.
I think personally, I'm a fan of Ndidi
Yeah.
and his goal.
Yeah, because it was
But-
like just constantly rising into the top corner. But they look like the relegation fears are behind them. Crystal Palace are still down there. Hull City picking up 3 points as well at home. But I want to talk about Manchester United. I watched that game. It was 0-0. It was the same old story. No Ibrahimovic, still suspended. Rashford, Lingard, Martial, 3 young lads up front. Pretty excited for the lineup. It was their chance to shine today. And I actually fear for Rashford's future. I really do. And we've seen it with Januzaj, who's gone to Sunderland. We jumped on his high horse at the end of last season, Marcus Rashford. These are the types of games he needs to produce the goods if he wants to be successful. And this isn't happening. And it seems like there was a lot of pressure on him today, maybe, with the fact that Zlatan Ibrahimovic was out today. And I don't think he can fill those shoes as of yet. I mean, he's still young. But it seems like he plays better when there's more experience in the team. What are your thoughts on Marcus Rashford's future? Is he that good? Is he a Port Vale player in the future? Like, how far can this lad go?
Yeah, I think he can go about as far as Northampton, and that's about it. No, I think Rashford definitely has a bright future. I don't know if you guys, it was a GIF that was made, was circling the internet, but he had a nice bit of skill against Lithuania last weekend in the World Cup qualifiers. That was very impressive. But dude, I rate Rashford. He scored goals in big moments for the club and for England, honestly. Like, he scored in big moments, and he's. I don't think it's quite the same as the Januzaj situation. I think Rashford's proven a little bit more at the top level. But what do you think, Mike?
I was just saying, I'm racking my brain, trying to find an English team of a super club, right? The super clubs, dude. United, your City, your Liverpool, your Chelsea,
West Bromovich,
your Arsenal, that has brought a young English player up. West Bromovich, and that guy's so rich. No, it's brought an English player up through the ranks with all the hype that Rashford had and had it work out. It seems that most of the English players that do really well come through your Southampton, Everton, your young ones I'm talking about. They come from with less attention, so they're allowed to make more mistakes. Rashford, he's 18, 19, playing at the biggest club, a lot of pressure. When I watch him play and I compare it to watching Dembele and Pulisic and Henry Moore and Dortmund, they're having fun. They're allowed to make mistakes.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's having fun sometimes. I agree with you on that. He had a great free kick with the last 5 minutes, but yeah, he doesn't look like he's having fun when... Yeah, even like as he's starting, he'll get frustrated very easily, and a lot of pressure is on him because he's at a bigger club. That free kick in the last 5 minutes was heading to straight, top corner, and Ben Foster had a great game, and a lot of goalkeepers do have.
I think Sterling is one of the only players to come through a big club's ranks and like be an 18, 19-year-old in England and do anything the last 5 years.
Oh, Sterling's done things in the last
tough.
5 years.
There's not many,
Actually, we didn't even talk about England in this podcast. I mean, it was a routine 2-0 win over Lithuania. They're pretty much guaranteed to qualify for the next World Cup. But it's such a boring team. Like, as good as Lallana is, as good as Cahill, I think Cahill was suspended actually, but as good as the players in the England team is, it's a very boring team. And what excites me as an England fan is the likes of Rashford coming in, but someone who hasn't really featured for England, who had a great game today at Stamford Bridge, was Wilfried Zaha. Absolute amazing game. And he hasn't been involved in the national team at all.
Part of that's his own fault, though, his attitude and.
But he's an exciting player. He's an exciting player.
He's a great player. On his day, when he decides he wants to play, he's one of the best attacking players in the league, I think. But he doesn't show that enough. He isn't mentally checked in enough. I don't think.
He almost had the goal right at the end that would have just put the game totally to rest too.
So you just don't think he has that professionalism as of yet?
Yeah, and I think that's almost well reported at this point. Whether it's been sources within clubs, journalists, he's not a professional, because I think when he was coming up, he was at Blackpool, right? Or no, it was at Crystal Palace.
He was at Crystal Palace, went to United, started banging David Moyes' daughter, and then went back to Crystal Palace.
Is that allegedly? You'll say allegedly in there.
It's like a pretty well-known,
Allegedly.
unconfirmed thing, though. It's like a legitimate rumor that he had relations with Mr. Moyes' daughter, Zhuzh. Wonder if she's fire. I'm gonna Google her. That'll be the most useful Google I've searched.
Oh, by the way, Connor, with all your Googles, did you find if USA has ever beat Mexico in a World Cup qualifier in Mexico?
They must have at some point. I remember. I don't know if it was a friendly, but I think it was the 2010 qualifying campaign, which
I think we got a draw once, and that was huge. That we got
It's
a draw.
always
I know the
It's
game we're
always
talking about
0-0. It's
when
always
Charlie
0-0.
Davis had a nice score.
Hold
When Charlie
on.
Davis had a really nice goal, but I think that was like a 1-1 draw. Yeah, I think. I mean, we sound like idiots right now, but I'm telling you, it's hard to imagine, but I don't think we ever won in Azteca. I think we drew. Maybe I might be wrong.
No, since I've lived in America, there was
Tweet
one,
at us.
there was
Nah,
one victory.
son, we won, son. 2006, we won, I think.
Gold Cup.
Nah, it was a guy. It was a World Cup qualifier guy.
All right.
Oh, I don't know. I'm looking through.
This is entertaining for
This
this.
is terrible.
But
All
no,
right, let's wrap it up.
No, it was good that the Premier League's back, but same old story. 11 draws now for Manchester United, frustrating as a fan. Liverpool look like they're on a run of form. Tottenham won 2-0 away to Burnley, always a hard place to go. No Harry Kane, Dele Alli playing a vital role again today. Eric Dyer getting the first one. And was it Son who got the second one with from an alley pass? They look very strong. Son. But they've closed the gap to 7 points now. Is the title race back on?
Nah, it's so over. It's been so over. It's not even funny.
Yeah,
It's
there's
not
any
over
glimmer
'cause
of hope. I love NBC Sports. Like any glimmer of hope, like Chelsea draw against Liverpool. It's like, oh, it's back on. It's back on. But
Yeah, it's not. It's the
I think-
farthest thing from back on.
yeah, I mean 7 points
Wrap
is
it up.
still a lot of points to catch up. But it was good. It was.
But
It
if they
seems
were,
like
if
it
they were
seems,
to lose against City and Tottenham win, isn't a 4? It'd be a 4-point.
Yeah, but are they going to lose to City?
Oh.
Or are Tottenham guaranteed to win the next game?
Arsenal are gonna get smacked by City tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks for tuning in.
No, I got my little MLS
all right.
real quick.
Oh yeah, the
Real
MLS.
quick.
The two
Yeah,
exciting
we're
games
only
from
at-
yesterday. Connor's Corner.
Our podcast just hits the rails sometimes. It's just like going great and then just blank. All right, what's up, Connor? What do you got for MLS?
A little bit of news. Kekute Mene has been traded to Columbus
Don't care.
for midfield. What do you mean you don't care, bro? We
No,
love
I care,
Kekute
I
Mene
care,
here.
I
Dude,
care,
he's a
I
USA
care, I
because
care.
he's a popular USA player.
Yeah, so he's been traded to Columbus for Tony Chani and some general allocation money and some targeted allocation money. Tony Chani is off to Vancouver, and Kekute Mane is joining a very good attack at Columbus of Robbie Finley, Justin Merrim, Higuain, etc. Top scorer in the league, Joseph Martinez, was injured on international duty with Venezuela. He's out 4 to 6 weeks. So Atlanta, maybe that might hurt their hot start a little bit. But this means that the Kenman Jones era has started for Atlanta. Shout out to CONCACAF. And then our little buddy Piatti is also hurt for Vancouver. That's really it for the top news stories other than
Sebastian Lletget
also hurt.
4 to 6 months.
4 to 6 months.
That
That's
injury
good.
got Honduras.
Thank you, Mike. I forgot about that. But and yeah, the big story was obviously Schweinsteiger. There's only been 2 games so far. This weekend, both ended in draws. We're recording this Saturday morning, so there was the 2 games last night on Friday. Toronto and Sporting Kansas City, and then Seattle and Atlanta both drew, or both games ended in 0-0 draws. Sporting Kansas City's rough start without goals continues. Giovinco was back for Toronto though. And then I think it's a pretty good result for Atlanta, new club.
Dempsey lasted, 60 minutes? I think Bradley played as well. Altidore played up front, all coming back from a tough away trip for the national team. So, I mean, any surprise that there was lackluster performances there? Not really, so.
Yeah, but I was going to say, it's a pretty good result for Atlanta, all things considered. New club getting a scoreless draw away at Seattle, not bad. And then there's a full slate of games today and 1 game tomorrow. But yeah, that's pretty much it for our beloved Major League Soccer this week on the Third Touch podcast.
MLS.
Soccer.
Anything to add, Mike? All those teams competing for the World
Ballistic
Cup.
Watch. Ballistic Watch. He came in against Schalke. He played, I think, like 20 minutes or something, 25 minutes. He didn't do that much. Whatever. He was good. And but they got a draw. You know?
What, Lewandowski scored like 6 goals again this week.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, he's gonna take Aubameyang. I thought Aubameyang was gonna be the top goal scorer in Bundesliga, but I think it's gonna be Lewandowski.
Mike, so I actually have a question for you. Do you think you watch more Bundesliga or more Premier League on a week in, week out basis?
Bundesliga.
For sure?
Yeah, I'm where the Americans are, bro. I ain't trying to go watch the Premier League. Where's my boy Dempsey? Not there. See you later, Premier League. You got to sign some boys. You got to sign Bradley, somebody. But I'll say this: Premier League is what I watch with no sort of nationalistic connection to. I watch some Premier League. I always know what's going. I always pay attention to, and I watch the big games always. But it's I would say it's probably even right now. And then I'll check in Real Madrid, Barcelona on Sundays. I always watch La Liga on Sundays.
Thank you, Bean Sports.
Thank you, Bean Sports.
Bean Sports.
All right. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. Really appreciate it. But tweet us always at the Third Touch, and we'll be back soon. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Love you. Rate, review, Twitter. Yeah. All of it. Facebook.
Oh, yeah, we had a good review this week. We got excited. But see you later. Good luck, West Bromovich.
Right.
In a bit. Bye.
West Bromovich then. Russian.
The big stuff. Who do you think you are? It's the big stuff. You're never gonna get